Hello. Okay, so we'll start with Ashley's film first. Hello. Hi. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the film and the making of it? Yeah, just explain it to us.
So I think this was one of the first proper times where I had to relinquish my control because I was really busy trying to make something else. It was a very kind of like secondary research-based film idea, and I was just going through a really tough time mentally and emotionally, and I think it's one of those things of like, people always say make a work and then let it tell you what it's about. And I really struggle with that because I'm always like, I have an idea and I'm going to achieve it and this is what I want and this is my vision. But for this, I was kind of had to just give up on the idea I was trying to do, and then this kind of came along. Now looking back in the most beautiful way. And I also wasn't the one to film it, which was also giving up of control again. But I'm also kind of leaning more into my performance practice as well. So I think I view this as a video performance rather than like a video piece or a film. But the main kind of thing, the hook for me for this was the kind of limerick that was based on a dream. My one same mother that made me dance over thorns and shards bathes me and picks out each tender splinter. And it was kind of that imagery that just wouldn't leave me alone. And I think that's what really forced me to make this, was kind of like, how do you take something that's really rich in imagery, and rather than trying to visually replicate that, rather maybe through writing or through movement or kind of more abstract video filmmaking, like think about the emotions behind it rather than the visuals, even though I still want to do the visuals one day.
I was wondering about your tattoo, and if that influenced the movement. When did you get it? Just on watching that, it feels very like the tattoo sort of sums up a lot of what the film is about. Was that intentional?
It's kind of like a chicken and egg situation. So I got that tattoo, it's my first and only tattoo, in January of this year, and then I kind of made the piece in March, or just around then. And I think I can't really talk about the tattoo without talking about who gave me the tattoo. It was my partner at the time, now ex-partner. And someone who I've been friends with for a very long time. And I think they're also an artist, and we were kind of constantly coming in and out of conversation around the imagery of angel wings. And for me, I've been doing a lot of work around empathy and the role of like emotional mediators within families, and I've been looking at like light orbs and like energy, and using yoga to kind of inform that practice. And I never really assigned it to like the symbol of an angel, and I think this was the first time that I did. But I got the tattoo first, and I think the ideas were there before the tattoo, but then the tattoo was what allowed me to kind of access the movement of it. And I actually started doing the movements because I was trying to do some like self-soothing techniques, and I was listening to music like 2 a.m. in my bedroom trying to work through some emotions, and I put the headphones on and I was just kind of breathing to the pace of the music, and I started just like doing these movements, and then I thought, I need to video this. And I think the kind of writing that then goes along with it, about having this kind of like guardian angel looking after you. You can't see the back of you, but she can, and kind of leaning into that trust of knowing that no matter what you assign it to, there's something or someone who's looking after you, whether it's yourself or a higher power or someone else, just kind of relinquishing control.
Great. Does anybody have any questions for this film? Yes.
I guess the silence of it really struck me, and like the stillness feels like quite a bold choice. I was just wondering what your intent was behind having done through the silence.
I think, to be honest, I never actually really thought about the sound at all, and I think that was almost an unconscious decision of it, letting it be. And I think I could have easily overdone it and been like, okay, I need video, and then I need sound, and then I need this. But I think because the writing was actually what kind of started it, I almost wanted it to be like a reading rather than just something visual that you just kind of like absorb, because I think you can very easily ignore the text, and I did that on purpose, that it wouldn't be like, I don't want it to be a subtitle, I kind of want it to be a piece of text that goes along with the movements. I have been thinking about doing some sound for it, but I think I'm going to leave it alone.
Any other questions? Yes.
How much thought went behind, or how difficult was it to decide who would be filming this and who you trusted to film you doing these movements and being vulnerable? And I suppose, as you said, you didn't have a vision at the time, but capturing what was there to start with.
Yeah, so I got my friend Z, who I'm very comfortable with, to film because also I was naked. So it was kind of like, choosing someone who I was emotionally and physically comfortable with. And what we did, just shows how much of a control freak I am, because I have like a very specific way of how I see things through the camera with like the blur and the non-blur. I first got her to do the movements, for me to film it, and we watched it back together, and I was like, this is what I want. Please try and do this as much as possible, but it's okay if you don't like get it. But then it was kind of like, but also if you see moments that you're drawn to, kind of go for that. But it was interesting to be the performer and not the documenter. But I also don't kind of view the like different roles as completely distinct. I think they're very much like interlinked. But I think it was important to have someone who knows me and knows my practice, working on it with me. Yeah.
Is there any other questions? Yes, Stevie at the back.
I always feel like I'm cheating asking questions and these things. It's like, you're supposed to be working. So to draw on Esme's point earlier on, and sorry, the elephant in the room, obviously the tattoo again, but there's a beautiful line of inverse symmetry drawn with your shoulder blades and your spine and the position of the tattoo. Was that something you were conscious of in the creation of the movement itself, or was it that kind of abandon of that release thing, where it's easier for your body to move as one in two sides and not separately? Was that something that you were? I'm just interested to know if that was something that went on in your head, or.
Please excuse my coughing, I have a cold. No, that's a great question. I think symmetry and balance is a big thing in this piece, and that's one of the things where I didn't actually strive to achieve it, is one of the things that it told me. I think, the tattoo, she's positioned perfectly along my spine, and so, no matter what movements I do, I think it's always going to be very symmetrical and balanced. But we kind of played, me and Z, we did like a kind of movement workshop together before filming, and she helped me brainstorm and like move through these things, where it was a lot of like the moving the two arms and shoulder blades together, but then we also worked with like moving just one and what that did to my body rather than the tattoo as an image. And I think I've had questions about when people ask me questions about the tattoo, there's kind of like this separation of like my body and then this image on my body. But I think for me they're one. Like, she is on me, she's in me, she's a part of me. And I'm very interested in like skin texture and the kind of like light and shadow of the muscles in the back. So I think we set up some lights so that it would really like highlight that contrast. So I think because it's working with my back, I wasn't actually able to visually see what my body was doing. But then watching it back, it's like, that's exactly what I'm interested in, or what I love visually. So again, this kind of thing of trust, like I wasn't consciously trying to make it, but my body was still able to achieve maybe what I would like to achieve if I had intended to do that.
Great, thank you, Ashley, and thank you for all the lovely questions. We're going to move on to the lovely Esme Stewart now. So